Good morning, guys. Actually, I was eagerly waiting for these documents, and finally they are there. You see, the documents are demands for grants analysis. Okay. Every year, you know very well, as part of the budget, demands for grants will be presented by various ministries, and they will be discussed threadbare, and finally they will be passed as part of the budget bill. Okay. As part of the budget. Okay. But what you have to understand is not only the finances will be discussed during the discussion, demands for grants discussion, a threadbare analysis of the functioning of the ministries and departments will be done. Of course, it's not possible to discuss all the demands for grants of all the ministries. Few ministries will be the demands for grants of the few ministries will be discussed, and the rest of them will be guillotined, like this year also the same way it has happened. Okay, only two ministries in detailed discussion was held, and the rest of the rest of them, the demands for grants have been guillotined. Okay, means passed en masse without any discussion. Okay, that happens because of the lack of time. Of course, there is time, but it's wasted. The parliament's time is more wasted than properly utilized, and because of some other reasons also. Sometimes bills will be guillotined like this. Okay. But the point is, these departmental standing committees that are there, okay, in Parliament, they will do a tremendous work of, or actually they work in the background. They will, do a threadbare analysis of the functioning of that particular ministry and the departments that are included in the ministry. A thorough analysis will be done. That is the good thing that will happen because of the presence of departmental standing committees. Okay, maybe some other time we will discuss how actually the committees, both parliamentary standing committees and departmental standing committees, how they are actually work behind the scenes and make this phenomenon of parliamentary responsibility or parliamentary control over the executive, how they make it possible. The good work done by these committees behind the scenes is actually the cornerstone, or which is actually protecting our parliamentary system and parliamentary oversight over the executive, and of course for that matter on judiciary also. Okay, so here also, this year also, beautiful analysis of these demands for grants has been made by the PRS legislative research. Ministry wise they have been posted. I'm not guaranteeing that I'll discuss each and every ministry, but most of the ministries that too I find important from the point of view of examination, I will try and discuss. Okay, you remember, we'll most of the times as part of our preparation, we will waste a lot of time in reading the materials that are actually not useful for the examination, or lot of irrelevant information will be there, or we will keep on reading the newspaper. Of course, reading newspapers is a very good habit, but the lacuna with the newspaper is the issues will not be covered comprehensively. That is the problem. Okay, because the space itself is very less. So just they will focus on, or the article will focus on the current issue. Okay, because of this reason, and I also personally experienced in my preparation that you will not get a comprehensive understanding on a particular topic. Okay, so that is what actually I was also trying to address through my videos. Any of my video you see, I'll try and discuss the concept overall, or altogether I will try and present. Okay, so that kind of overall analysis about a particular segment or ministry or department, any segment you take with respect to our country, this just like the PIB, Press Information Bureau, backgrounders, explainers, the documents of PRS legislative research also try to provide a comprehensive picture. You see, if you have to write a proper answer in the mains examination, or you have to answer a prelims question comfortably, you should have this comprehensive understanding about each and every aspect. If you know the partial information, it becomes very difficult for you to answer the questions, whether it is in the prelims, whether it is in the mains, or for that matter, it is in the it's in the interview also. Without knowing the complete picture of an issue, you cannot present a proper argument, even to the interview board also. Okay, for that reason, you see, I faced this problem because, of course, we will not be having time to read everything in the 24 hours. Okay, so we have to read a newspaper, we have to read the standard textbooks, and we have to read the current affairs magazine, and we have to prepare for optional also. So these things will take all the time. I know it. Okay. And further, you might be watching some videos of Rajya Sabha, Sansad TV, etc. Debates you might be watching, and some current affairs videos you might also be watching. So this hectic schedule of us will not allow us to focus on these sources like PRS legislative research, PIB, even other, for that matter, other valuable sources of information are also there, like Niti Ayog I am trying to cover. Okay, so this is it actually where the valuable information is there. We are missing it, unfortunately. I'm not blaming you. This happens because the pressure we have, that we have to complete vast amount of syllabus, then we have to revise once, revise second time, and within no time the exams will come, the prelims will come, the mains will come, and the interviews will also happen. Gone, entire year will be gone. Okay, so I understand this. That's why I'm trying to complement your preparation with my videos. I'm not trying to just replace your preparation with my videos. I'm just trying to uh, complement your preparation with whatever you are already reading, maybe the standard textbooks, newspaper. Added to that, the most important information that you are missing, that is there in PRS legislative research, and the Press Information Bureau, even in Niti Ayog, and one more website is also there, IDSA. Okay, that information I am trying to present. Okay, so previously also, for most of my students, I have shown how the questions are directly picked from these sources, from PRS, PIB website, PRS legislative research. Means they are not being picked, but that information is covered very beautifully. The required information is covered very beautifully in these sources. That is what I am saying, without adding any huss and fuss, without adding any irrelevant information. These sources are presenting information in a very, very beautiful manner. Okay, so but unfortunately we do not have time. Agreeable, I'm not contending it. So we do not have time to follow these sources threadbare thoroughly. So that reason, to complement your preparation, I'm trying to present the information that is there in these sources. Okay, so that's the reason why the videos are going very longer, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, even 1 hour also, some of the videos. Um, but I would say, with my experience, I'm saying this is the most important information that we shall not leave at all. Okay. Um, okay, that is what I want to say about these sources and the way I am presenting the lectures. Okay. Remember one more thing, it's not like feeding you the, peeling the banana and feeding you. Okay, it's not spoon feeding. Just I'm trying to give you the ideas, okay, to you. I'm presenting the, because that reason also I'm taking the original document. I am not making the PPT. uh, I want that after watching this video, once again you go back to the original document and you read the document. Of course, I'm not leaving anything in the document, but directly I'm picking the points from the document, and I'm showing it to you, and wherever explanation is required, I'm trying to give the explanation. Okay, but I hope that after watching this video also, you'll once again go through the original documents and you read them. Okay, highlight the important points and keep on revising until you complete your examination. You see, that is how I have done, and have gotten great results by following this method. I hope you will also reap better benefits by following these authentic and appropriate sources. Okay, and collecting all these sources, and reading them, revising them continuously. Okay, all right. So I have taken first to start this session or this series of lectures, I have taken my favorite area or my favorite ministry, that is Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay. So very beautifully, all the information related to water and associated issues has been covered here. Okay, even the schemes, what is the budget allocation, how this ministry is performing, means how this segment is performing, etc. Everything is covered very, very, very beautifully. Okay, please, my personal request is that you do not miss any of these videos, especially the this series of lectures. Demands for grants series of lectures. Okay, as many ministries as possible I will try and cover. Okay. uh, you see, most of the times we will consider economic survey is one of the most important sources of information for our examination. I would say, if not more, these documents also, the demands for grants analysis documents are also, if not more, they are also as important as the uh, this one. Okay, the economic survey documents. Okay, I hope you will remember that, and you will remember that and make use of these documents. Okay, you see some sources are there. I just want to repeat once again: the India Yearbook, the annual reports of various ministries, the documents that are being posted by PRS Legislative Research, and a PIB. Okay, now I'm not saying all the documents. It's not possible to read all the documents that are being posted in PIB, but the imported documents, now they have brought a new series of documents, explainers and backgrounders. They are very, very, very beautiful. Okay, these resources, and then Niti Aayog. Okay, many publications are being uploaded in the Niti Aayog website also. Okay, recently I have covered two. One thing is about the natural farming, and the second thing is about the financial fiscal health index of the states. Okay, I'm trying as far as possible. I'm trying to cover these reports. Okay, so I'm saying these are very authentic sources. Very useful information is there. You see, apart from the static subjects like geography, economics, polity, some of the questions you will miss. Uh, you will not in a position to answer. You will be not knowing much information about them. What is the reason? The reason is we are omitting or we are not covering these sources in our preparation. That is the reason. Of course, we will write the subject-oriented questions very well, whether it is in the prelims also and in the mains. Okay, the questions related to subjects, geography, economics, science and technology, okay, polity, etc., environment, we write, but sometimes we face problems in writing these type of questions. Okay, so I'm trying to find a solution to that problem. I also personally faced that problem. To that, I'm trying to find a solution. Okay, if you see my videos or series of lectures I have started, so this is the area I'm trying to focus on. Okay, right. Having said that, we will go into the discussion of Ministry of Jal Shakti. We will see the analysis, threadbare analysis of this ministry and this segment. Okay, first we will see the highlights. See, Jal Jeevan Mission, one important uh, uh, program or scheme under Ministry of Jal Shakti. It was allocated rupees 67,670 crores in 2016 for the 2026-27, almost four times the revised estimate for 2025-26. So fourfold increase is there. Okay, but so far no funds have been released to states under the scheme in 2025-26. Okay, so unfortunately in the previous financial year, okay, because we are discussing the budget of 2026-27, I'll call the previous year as previous financial year. So in the previous financial year, no funds have been released to states at all. Okay. Second one, underutilization of funds is seen in schemes like Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, Namami Gange, and PM Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Okay, this problem is faced in several departments or ministries. Allocations will be done in the budget. Okay, the finance minister presents that this much we are allocating for this much this program or this scheme. Unfortunately, what happens? The ministries or departments fail to utilize the allocation of the funds. Sometimes, what will be the result? Next year, there will be cut in the allocation for that particular program or scheme. Okay, that problem is there. Okay. Third one is about 75% of the districts are water stressed or water scarce. Okay. Further, surface and groundwater pollution persists despite improvements in recent years. Okay, these are the key highlights of this document. We'll go into the details. Some introduction is there. We will see the introduction. The Ministry of Jal Shakti is responsible for the development and maintenance of water resources in India. Yes, it is also responsible for ensuring drinking water supply and sanitation in rural India. These are the responsibilities of the ministry. Okay. The ministry has two departments, very important information. Sometimes the prelims question will be asked on the departments also. Okay. Uh, whose responsibility is this particular aspect? Okay. They will give the list of departments. You have to identify the correct one. Okay. Right. It has two departments. The ministry has two departments. The Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation, DDWS, and the Department of Water Resources, River Development, and Ganga Rejuvenation. Okay, DOWR. Okay. Right. The first department, DDWS, is responsible for providing drinking water and sanitation facilities in rural India. Okay. So this department's responsibility is drinking water and sanitation in rural India. The second department is responsible for setting policies for the conservation and management of water resources. It is also responsible for monitoring water resources, tracking water pollution, sorry, tackling water pollution, and addressing interstate transboundary water issues. Okay, very important information. You try and remember. Okay. You see, the present document, this document analyzes expenditure by the Ministry of Jal Shakti and the implementation of key schemes under the ministry. Okay. It also discusses some important issues related to water resources and their governance in our country. Okay. Right. First, we will see the finances, overview of the finances. In 2026-27, the Ministry of Jal Shakti has been allocated rupees 94,808 crore, 5% lower than the budget allocation in 2025-26. Okay. You see, this is the problem. I'm not blaming anyone, but this will be the problem of our country. In budget, some figure will be shown. This much we are allocating. Okay. The Honorable President, Finance Minister will, announce this in the Parliament in the form of budget. But you see by the year end, they will take these are called as budget estimates. You see, when the financial year is ending or it is coming to close, then there will be revised estimates. In revised estimates, always and unfortunately, this happens that the revised estimates will be lower than the budget estimates. Okay. So finally, the point I am trying to make here is the budget estimates will lose their sanctity by the as and when the financial year comes to close. Okay. So when the next budget is presented, what the finance minister will do, or what the people, the officers who are responsible for preparing the budget will do, they will compare it to the present allocation, next year budget allocation. They will compare it to the revised estimates of previous budget, not the budget figures. Okay. So revised estimate will be always lower because ministries are not utilizing, or government is, the finance ministry itself is not giving funds to the various ministries or departments because of shortage of funds. So in the next budget, they will compare this allocation with the revised estimate of previous budget, and they will say we have increased the allocation substantially. Okay. Which is not 100% true. Okay. Truth is not, the 100% truth is not there in it. That is the problem. Unfortunately, it is continuing. I hope that at some point of time in our country, that problem will be addressed. Okay. Right. You see, we'll move forward. Since 2017-18, the majority of the ministry's budget has been allocated towards the first department, DDWS, which implements the Jal Jeevan Mission and the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. Okay. So the majority of the expenditure is going towards these schemes or towards this department. However, in 2025-26, the revised estimate for spending on JJM is 75% less than the budget estimate. This is the problem I was mentioning. In budget, one figure has been shown for Jal Jeevan Mission, but actually, when it comes to actual expenditure or revised estimates, only 75% of the budgeted expenditure, only 75% of the amount that has been actually spent. Okay, that is the problem. Further, spending on other schemes has also been less at the revised stage in 2025-26, such as Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, 50% less than the budget estimate. So whatever you are promising the budget, you are not even actually spending 50% of it. That is the problem I am repeatedly mentioned. Okay. Then Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, it is to provide irrigation, 20% less, and the interlinking program, 25% less expenditure. Okay. This has caused the revised estimate for the ministry's expenditure to be 58% less than the budget estimate. Okay. So whatever promised in the budget, actual expenditure is 58% only, or 58% less than the budget estimation. So whatever you have promised, you are not even spending 50% of it. Very sorry state of affairs. Okay. Right. We will see the table budget allocation to the Ministry of Jal Shakti in across various years. Okay, 2024-25. 2 years have been fast, so actual estimates will be are available for us. For 2025-26, revised estimates are there. Then 2026-27, budgeted estimates are there. Okay. Then in the final column, we will see percentage of change from 2025-26 revised estimates to 26-27 budget estimate. Okay. For the Ministry of Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation, in this budget, 74,895 crore has been allocated. But you see the figures, 2024-25 actual expenditure was just 25,000 crore rupees. Okay. Then you see for the year 2025-26. Only 23,000 crore only. Okay. So actually from 2024-25 to 25-26, there is a reduction, okay, in actual expenditure. Okay. So the simple point I want to make here is, then what is the purpose of you presenting the budget and showing these many figures? Okay. Huge figures that this much we are going to spend. Okay. What is happening actually? You're not spending even half of it. That is the problem. Okay. So percentage of change from the revised estimate of previous year, this year, to present year is 225%. 225%. Okay. Right. For the JJM, Jal Jeevan Mission, actual spendings, you see 22,000 crore in 2024-25, 17,000 crore in 25-26. But this year's budgeted estimate is 67,000 crore. Change is 298%, almost 300% increase. Okay, means 3 times. Okay, then Swachh Bharat, for Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin also. Okay, then for water resources are also there. Then for independent individual schemes are also allocations have been shown. We need not go into the details for individual schemes. Okay, right. Further, you see, despite lower revised estimates of expenditure, the 2026-27 budget allocation for most schemes implemented by the ministry is similar to the 25-26 budget estimates. Okay, so I think as part of your preparation, you might have studied the types of budgets like performance budgeting, okay, zero-based budgeting, okay, Then present budget, the type of budget that it seems that we are following is incremental budget. Okay, simply without seeing the performance, without seeing the outcomes, even without seeing the expenditure, simply you are increasing year after year, simply you are increasing the budget allocation for various ministries, various departments, and various programs. Okay, so I hope it is the time that we shift to at least outcome budgeting. Okay, performance budget, it's difficult for us because lot of work you have to do to prepare the performance budgeting, but at least we can focus on outcome budgeting. Okay, you simply see the what are the outcomes of previous expenditure, previous budget expenditure. Based on the outcomes, you try and prepare the present year's budget. Okay, I think it's doable because the ministry is the finance ministry is blessed with many IAS officers, revenue officers, many office bearers are there, many civil servants or public servants are there. I think if they want to do, they can do it. Okay, all right. So you try and remember this slide. Very, very important as part of governance, also as part of budgeting, also. Okay, this is where the problem is there. Right. We will move forward. We will see these key schemes. As of 2020-22, India is in India, 90% of water was used for irrigation. I think you have studied this in geography and environment. Um, 90% of the water utilization goes for agriculture sector or for irrigation, 7% for the domestic purposes, and the rest 2% for industrial use. Okay. You see, domestic use include water for drinking, cooking, washing, and sanitation. The Ministry of Jal Shakti implements several schemes to provide sufficient water to meet these requirements. Okay, one by one, the schemes we will see. First and foremost scheme is Jal Jeevan Mission. Okay, it's launched in 2019 and it aims to provide every rural household a functional tap connection. Okay, that is the goal of this scheme or this mission. Initially implemented for the period from 2019 to 24, the scheme has been extended till December 2028. So 4 more years extension or 5 years more extension has been given to the scheme. Okay. Since 2021-22, allocation towards JJM has accounted for around 70% of the ministry's total budget every year. So the majority part is going towards this scheme only. If you see the entire allocation to the ministry. Okay. JJM has been allocated 67,670 crore in 2026-27, 1% more than the budget estimate for 2025-26. Okay. In 2026-27, it is the second largest centrally sponsored scheme after the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, that is GRAMG Act. Okay. After the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Right. In 2025-26, the revised estimates for spending on the scheme, okay, is just 17,000 crore, is 75% less than the budget allocation in that year, 2025-26. Okay, budget said that we will spend 67,000 crore for JJM, but actually how much they have spent? Only 17,000 crore rupees. Right. Further, this is the lowest expenditure on the scheme in any year since 2020-21. Okay. Further, as per the Union Budget 2026-27, this can be explained by a lower requirement for the grants in aid to the state governments. Actual expenditure was 68% less than budgeted in 2024-25. Okay, so the revised estimates of spending on JJM, 75% lower than the budget budgeted in 2025-26, that is shown. Okay, so the dark blue is budget allocation, the light blue is actual spending. Okay, you can see if you leave 2019-20 and 2020-21, of course, 2021-22 expenditure is more than the budgeted allocation. But since then, okay, allocation is high, but expenditure is less, especially for the past 2 years, 2024-25 and 25-26. The actual expenditure is far lower than the budget allocation. Okay, that is the problem. Then there are some cost overruns under the scheme. We will see them. You see, JJM is being implemented as a centrally sponsored scheme where funding for projects is shared between the center and the states and union territories. We know it. We know that very well. It has launched with a total center and states outlay of 3.06 lakh crore. It was estimated that the central government would spend 2.09 lakh crore on the scheme, with all the rural households provided an functional household toilet connection, okay, by March 2024. This expenditure was estimated to increase from 2019 to 22 and decrease thereafter. Okay, that was the actual uh, thought process. Okay, however, as of January 2025, the central government has allocated 4.3 lakh crore rupees for the scheme and has spent 2.06 lakh crore. During this time, 81% of the rural households have a functional tap collection against the target of 100%. Okay, right. So the point here the source document is trying to say is you have spent a lot of money to just cover this, bring this 81% coverage, 81, bring this 81% to 100%. You have spent unreasonably huge amount of money, which is indicating inefficiency. Maybe it is indicating corruption also in the scheme. Okay, right. Next one, central outlay towards the JJM was expected to taper down after 2024, but unfortunately, uh, it did not come down. It is actually gone very high. Okay. Right. Further, we will see further analysis. In 2020, the average cost per household under JJM was estimated to be around 47,000, 47,000 rupees, excluding a sub scheme to provide solar based water supply. Okay, we will leave that. However, since 2023-24, the average cost of providing a functional household toilet connection to a household has crossed 50,000 rupees. Okay, you imagine to provide a tap connection to an individual house, it's costing 40, earlier it was costing 47,000 rupees. Now it has even crossed 50,000 rupees. Let us ask ourselves a simple question. Do you think it's reasonable? Is it, I mean, you feel that is actually correct? This much cost will be incurred in providing a tap connection to a household. This much cost. Of course, I will understand you have to lay down the pipeline. You have to bring the water from distant rivers. Okay, but still 50,000 rupees for one tap connection. Okay, we ask ourselves. Okay, and uh, we ask our conscience how much truth is there in this. Okay, right. Further, we will move forward. States have cited several reasons for delays in project implementation. These include lack of dependable drinking water sources, uh, geogenic contaminants in groundwater. Lot of contaminants are there in groundwater, and uneven geographical terrain and poor technical capacity. These are the reasons cited by the state governments in not completing the scheme within the time period. Okay. Then states also observed increased raw material costs due to COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine crisis. That problem is also there. Further, states requested additional central support to meet these costs. Okay, give me 1 second. Right. In June 2022, the operational guidelines were amended for this purpose. Okay. The amendment removed tender premium from the list of inadmissible expenses. It also provided for additional approvals if the cost discovered through a tender process exceeded the estimated project cost. Okay, these were the changes that were made to address the concerns of the states. Okay. Then you see no central release under the scheme in 2025-26. I don't know the reason, we will see. Okay, the JJM scheme was extended till 2028 under the Union Budget 2025-26. However, no guidelines have been published for the extension of the scheme. As of February 2026, the JJM information management system shows that no funds were allocated towards or released to states in 2025-26. Okay, maybe the reason is central government thought that it has spent its share and states did not spend their share, so it may want to it may want the states to you know, do their expenditure. Okay, that 30% expenditure or 40% expenditure from their side. Okay, that could be the reason. Okay, on February 2nd, 2026, Ministry clarified in Rajya Sabha that no funds were allocated to states or UTs in 2025-26. Okay, then rupees 232 crore of central funds were spent during this time, drawn from unutilized funds released in the previous years. Okay. So center has not allocated any funds in the previous financial year. That could be the reason I have mentioned. Then third table, state expenditure higher than central expenditure in 2024-25 and 2025-26. Okay. It could be maybe the thing is to force the states to allocate their share also. Okay, maybe that could be the reason. I'm guessing it. I also don't know 100%. Okay, right. You see, the ministry has stated that central grants to eligible states will be released only after the Union Cabinet's approval of the scheme extension and a publication of the guidelines. Okay, this could be the reason because the scheme's extension is not published officially and it was not approved by the cabinet. Maybe for that reason also, the central government might be waiting. Okay, as per the JJM's mandate, central financial support to states would be provided until March 2024. States would have to bear the financial liability for the schemes approved beyond March 2024. In line with this, state expenditure on the scheme has exceeded central expenditure since 2024-25. Okay. Then some irregularities are there. We will see. This is also very, very important for critical analysis of the scheme. Okay. You see, the Ministry of Jal Shakti noted that more than 17,000 complaints have been received by the states UTs regarding financial irregularities and poor quality of working under JJM. 17,000 complaints. Okay. 17,000 complaints. Right. As of July 2025, 140 districts were visited by the officers to conduct a ground inspection of JJM projects. Action has been taken against departmental officials found guilty of wrongdoing, including inquiries, disciplinary action, lodging of FIRs, and a suspension also. Then further penalties also have been imposed and recovered as of December 2025. 6 states reported imposing penalties worth of 129 crore. Out of this, 9% has been recovered. Okay, just 12 crores have been recovered. You know very well, penalties generally government officials and on the contractors will be imposed, but very rarely the recovery of those penalties will occur. We know that it is a reality. Okay. This includes rupees 7 crore from Gujarat, rupees 4 crore from Rajasthan, and 1 crore from Tripura. Okay. In addition, rupees 340 crore was recovered from contractors and contractors as liquidated damages. That is a predetermined compensation in case of breach of contract in Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Right. Briefly, we will examine the functionality of the tap connections that were provided under the scheme. Right. In a 2024 assessment of JJM villages, it was found that tap water connections were working in 87% of the households. Good figure, satisfying figure, I can say that. However, tap connections were fully functional in 76% of households. This means that the household received at least 55% of water per person per day. That is the condition under JJM. Water was supplied as per the predetermined or predefined schedule according to the timings, and water was free from contamination and met quality standards. Okay. Right. Further, pump failures, damaged pipelines, and electricity issues, they were the most common reasons for tap connections are not functioning. Okay. The survey also noted that while user satisfaction was high, more than 80%, microbiological contamination of water was found in some areas. This problem is everywhere in our country. Contamination with the fecal material, okay, unwanted micro bacterial presence in water. Okay, right. That is about the functional toilets in our country. Then we will come to another very, very, very important scheme because you see, it has been considerable amount of time or period of time since Swachh Bharat Mission scheme has been launched. So I am expecting a uh, analytical question to evaluate the performance of Swachh Bharat Mission, okay, in the mains examination. So maybe in that context, you shall be ready with all the information required to make a critical analysis of the performance of the scheme. Okay, we will see what is there. The Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin was launched in 2014. We know it very well, with the aim of ending open defecation. Okay, in the first phase, or in this phase, the focus was to provide the rural households access to toilets. Okay, phase two of the scheme was launched in 2020 to be implemented till 2024-25. It aims to make all the villages ODF free or open defecation free plus model villages. Okay, ODF plus. This involves three progressive stages. Okay, in this phase, toilets will be built to cover newly emerging households and those left uncovered in the previous phase. Okay. Right. We will see the allocations, financial allocations and performance. SBMG has been allocated 7,192 crore in 2026-27. The budget allocation for this scheme has remained the same in every year since 2022-23. Okay. Actual expenditure on the scheme has been less than the budget allocation in every year since 2018-19. Okay. Right. In 2024-25, actual expenditure was 3,600 crore, 50% less than the budget estimate. Okay. Very sorry situation. Okay. As per revised estimates, 6,000 crore, 70% less than budgeted, is expected to be spent on SBM in the 2025-26 financial year. Okay. Right. Stages of ODF plus status. We will see this is important from the point of view of examination. ODF plus aspiring. The requirements for this are for the village are the village sustains ODF status and arranges for solid or liquid waste management. Then they will become the village becomes eligible for ODF plus aspiring. ODF plus rising, the village sustains ODF status and arranges for solid and liquid waste management, both ways. Then ODF plus model, the village sustains ODF status, arranges for solid and liquid waste management, observes visual cleanliness, and displays ODF plus messages. Then the village will become eligible for ODF plus model. This is also very, very important from the prelims point of view. You try and remember it. Okay, very important information. Okay, we'll move forward. Target achievement under SBMG. By 2019, all villages in the country had declared themselves ODF free. Okay. However, the National Family Health Survey 5 NFHS 5 recorded that 26% of the rural households practiced open defecation between 2019 and 21. Okay. So ground level practice is still not there. As of January 2026, more than 12 crore household toilets have been built under SBMG. Okay. That is the observation. Right. You see funds utilized in Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin phase 2, if you examine, um, the thick blue color is the allocation and light blue color is actual expenditure. Okay. So from 2018-19 on afterwards, always the actual expenditure is less than the budget allocation. Okay. And since 2022-23, the allocation is the same. It is not increasing at all. Okay. Right. We will move forward. Further details we will see. Right. 5.86 lakh villages are covered under SBMG. Arrangements for solid waste management have been made in 90% of the villages, and for liquid waste management in 93% of the villages. Okay. These include compost pits, community soak pits, sewers, closed drains, fecal sludge management systems, etc. Okay. Along with individual household latrines, creation of community assets is also prioritized under Swachh Bharat Mission Gram. Okay. Then community assets are created under SBMG. The list is there. You need not worry about the number or quantity of them. Okay. Right. We will move forward once physical criteria are met. A village is or village can declare itself ODF plus at a Gram Sabha meeting. Following this declaration, the district administration must complete its third party verification within 90 days. Subsequently, ODF plus verification must be completed for the village annually. As of January 2026, 97% of these villages were ODF plus and 84% were ODF plus model villages. Okay. The first verification of model status has been completed in 72% of the villages and a second verification in 29% of the villages. Why this decline? Once they achieve this status, sometimes they will become or lacuna will creep in, and that's why they lose the status. Some of the villages lose the status. That also happens. Right. Next, we will examine the slower release of funds. SBM Gramin is a centrally sponsored scheme with the central and state governments contributing to the funds. We know it very well, 60:40. Additionally, funds are also expected to be obtained from the Finance Commission grants and revenue generation models, especially for the waste management. Between 2014-15 and 24-25, rupees 86,000 crore has been released by the center to the states. The scheme was extended to 25-26 to be financed by balance savings under the given outlay. Okay. In 2023-24, 7 states or UTs, okay, including Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, and Kerala, did not receive any funds. Okay. In 2024-25, this list included Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and Meghalaya. Okay. Further, in May 2024, SNA Sparsh, a new system for just-in-time release of funds to states was launched. Okay, states were required to create infrastructure and train scheme implementing agencies to use this system. Okay, during this time, fund release under the previous route. Okay, through the SNA system of nodal accounts of states was also stopped. Okay, all states or UTs were required to move to the Sparsh platform before April 1st, 2025. Only 13 states have shifted to Sparsh as of February 2025. Okay. The ministry cited delays in states adopting the new platform as a reason for delays in fund release to eligible states. Okay. Lack of familiarity with the new system is also led to low expenditure in those states which had shifted to first. So this shifting of a platform is also one of the reasons for delay in fund release and utilization. Okay, right. That can be seen in the figure. Further, we will see under Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, states are expected to utilize Finance Commission grants for the rural local bodies, or RLB. Sorry, this figure related to Finance Commission grants to rural local bodies. I'm sorry. Okay, as an additional source of funds. Okay, out of the cost for village level solid and liquid waste management activities. Okay, and community sanitary complexes, 30% is expected to be funded through this route. However, states have faced difficulties in accessing RLB grants. This could be due to the inability to meet conditions attached to some grants. You know very well, nowadays the Finance Commission recommendations are coming with conditions. The states have to meet some conditions, then only funds will be devolved to the states. Okay. The conditions such as making additional accounts of local bodies um, available online. Okay. Further, we will move forward. The Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin guidelines also require the state governments to provide an undertaking that funds earmarked for sanitation activities are being devolved to RLBs, rural local bodies. Fund release from the center is contingent on this undertaking. Okay. Right. Next one, we will see financial assistance to build toilets that a river needs a revision. Maybe this is the recommendation of the PRS legislative research. Okay. You see, under the SBMG, financial assistance of 12,000 crore is given to the households. Sorry, 12,000 rupees. I'm sorry. 12,000 rupees is given to the households to build toilets. The Standing Committee on Water Resources has, on multiple occasions, noted that this amount is insufficient. Okay. This cost was fixed based on a 2014 assessment completed prior to the initial implementation of Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. Okay. The committee in 2025 noted that the cost of construction materials and other inputs have increased substantially since 2014. Okay, it recommended increasing the amount of this incentive. Okay, so the point is from 12,000 rupees, you have to increase it to maybe like 20,000 rupees or 25,000 rupees because cost of construction has increased substantially since 2014. That is the point. Okay, right. Right. Next, we will move forward. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, another important scheme. This is to provide irrigation. Okay. So as of 2022-23, it is estimated that 56% of the net sown area uh, in India is under irrigation. Okay. Good development. 56% of the net sown area is has assured irrigation. Okay. The remaining agricultural land depends on rainfall for water, okay, which is unfortunate. However, changes have been observed in rainfall patterns across the country. About two-thirds of agricultural land is also drought prone. These factors enhance the need for irrigation to ensure that sufficient water is available for farming. Okay, right. Move further. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. It was launched to increase the proportion of cultivable land under irrigation. I'll use the word assured irrigation and improve water use efficiency on the farms. Okay, you know very well, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana has three sub-components. We will see them. You see, the second phase is being implemented from 2021-22 to 25-26. Okay, out of four major components, I'm sorry, four components are there. Okay, not three components of the scheme. Two are being implemented by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, these are the Accelerated Irrigated Benefit Program (ABP). This is for major projects, and Har Khet Ko Pane (HKKP). Okay. Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program launched in 1996-97 and brought under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana in 2026. It focuses on the completion of major and medium irrigation projects. Okay. Har Khet Ko Pani focuses on minor irrigation and water body restoration. Okay, right. Then budget allocation towards Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana has increased since 2016-17, but utilization has fallen short. Okay, so you can observe in the graph, increase is there, recently decline is there, budget allocation, but utilization is always shorter than the allocation. Okay, right. Total outlay of 59,000 crore rupees has been allocated towards the PMKSY between 2014, 16, 17 and 2025-26. Actual expenditure has been estimated to be 87% of this amount. Still healthy, I would say. Okay. Since 2023-24, expenditure has on the scheme has been above 80% of the budget estimate. Okay. PMKSY is a centrally sponsored scheme. Central assistance of 28,000 crore has been released to states as of August 2025. Okay. Uh, we will see some unmet targets under AIBP and HKKP. This is like the critical analysis of the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. You see, between 2016-17 and 23-24, 1.2 crore hectare irrigation potential has been created under AIBP. Okay. Irrigation potential refers to the land that can be irrigated using available water resources. This is 78% of the AIBP's target for irrigation potential. Okay. That is 1.5 crore hectare. As of March 2025, 61% of 61% of the project under AIBP has been completed. So 66 projects out of 108 have been completed. Okay. Right. Further, there are two major subcomponents under HKKP, Har Khet Ko Pani, that is surface minor irrigation and repair, renovation and restoration of water bodies, RRR, SMI and RRR. Under SMI, 3,000 out of 3,160 out of 7,304 projects, that is 43%, have been completed as of November 2024. Then 1,661 out of 3,075 projects, that is 54%, have been completed under triple R. Okay, these projects have been created 5.6 lakh hectare of irrigation potential against a target of 14 lakh hectare. Okay, still it is less than half achievement is. Okay, you can see in the figure 7 irrigation potential that is created under AIBP. Okay. The reasons for underperformance of the scheme is land acquisition has been highlighted as the major obstacle to implement this particular scheme or irrigation projects. A COG audit of AIBP found delays between 1 and 18 years. Okay, delays on obtaining statutory clearance and changes in the scope of work or other issues that have been identified. Okay. You see, these delays lead to cost overruns and leave targets unrealized. Okay, right. That can be seen in this figure 8. Okay. Further, we will move forward. In April 2025, the Union Cabinet approved the modernization of command area development and water management program for 1 year, 2025-26. It aims to modernize the irrigation network and improve micro irrigation infrastructure. Okay. It also aims to increase water use efficiency at the farm level. Okay. About 70,000 hectare is expected to be covered under the scheme. Okay. Remember the scheme name, Modernization of Command Area Development of Water Management, MCAD, or you can call it as MCADWM. Okay. As of December 1st, 2025, rupees 44 crore have been released to states under the scheme against an allocation of rupees 883 crore. Okay. Then One program we will try and learn, that is rehabilitation of dams. Okay, very important area. You see, as of 2023, India had more than 6,000 large dams. The operation, maintenance, and safety of dams is the responsibility of dam owners and states. Okay. Under the Dam Safety Act of 2021, all states are required to set up dam safety committees and a dam safety organization. Okay. As of December 2025, all states have set up these mechanisms. However, the CWC, Central Water Commission, has noted a lack of uniformity in the functions or administration of DSOs. Okay, in most cases, they play an advisory role with a few opportunities for proactive intervention in dam rehabilitation. Okay. Since 2012, the dam rehabilitation and improvement project has been implemented to improve the safety and operational performance of selected dams. Okay. If you see the performance as of November 2025, rupees 1,931 crore has been spent on phase 2 of the scheme against the sanctioned outlay of 5,000 crore. Okay. Major rehabilitation work has been completed at 31 dams. Okay. Very important because dam safety has become an issue since a few years, especially between Tamil Nadu and Kerala about the Mullaperiyar Dam. Okay. Now we will see some critical areas about the ministry. Okay. Under the ministry, water quality, etc., etc. Okay. Right. We will enter into the category of water quality and availability and quality of water. The problems, just like I have mentioned, we have to see certain problems also. Okay. So the first one is availability and the quality of water. Okay. So you know very well, India receives water from rivers, groundwater, precipitation, rainfall and snowfall. Surface water sources are there and underground water sources are there. Okay. 61% of the utilizable water is from the surface water sources and remaining 39 is from the groundwater sources. Okay. The CWC has observed that India is not a water deficit country. There is no water deficit. Okay. But we can say we come in the category of water stressed country. But the as the things go like this, now they are going on, we will soon become a water deficit country. Okay. Now we are in the category of water stressed country. Okay. You see, so according to CWC, we are not a water deficit country. And severe neglect and lack of water resource monitoring have led some regions to experience persistent water stress. That problem is there. Okay. In 2011, per capita availability of water in India fell below 1,700 cubic meters per capita availability. Okay, indicating a water stress condition. But soon, if the things has go on like this, definitely we go into the category of water deficit country. Okay. Okay. Further analysis, we will see the level of water stress is not uniform across the country. As per the CWC estimates, 59% of districts, total districts in our country are 727. Roughly 59% of them are facing water scarcity in 2025 and 3% are facing absolute scarcity. Okay. In 2050, 57% of the districts are expected to face water scarcity and 7% to face absolute scarcity. So like I told, the situation is going to deteriorate. Okay. Per capita availability, and you can see how it is going down, and the prediction is now it is, or in 2001, it was 1820 uh, cubic meters. Okay. 2025, it's estimated at 1434. By 2050, it is going to be 1219. until and unless we take appropriate measures. Okay. Then categorization is less. Above 1700 meter cube, cubic meter, no stress, 1000 to 1700, stress, 500 to 1000, scarcity, less than 500 cubic meter, absolute scarcity. Okay. All right. Groundwater stress, which is very severe in our country, we will try and understand that. It has been estimated that 406 billion cubic meters of groundwater can be extracted annually in India. Remember this data, very, very important. You can, when you are writing the answers, this is how you will write by quoting the data. Okay. So India has, it is estimated that 406 cubic or billion cubic meters of water can be extracted annually in our country. As of 2025, the average groundwater extraction was 61%. Okay. This figure was 32% in 1995. So it's almost doubled since 1995, water extraction. That too, you see the figure 10, 90% of extracted groundwater is used for irrigation. Okay. 87% is used extracted groundwater. It is used for irrigation. 11% is for domestic use and 2% is for industries. Okay. There is a committee, the Standing Committee on Water Resources. It noted that increased water demand. Okay. Increased water demand, changes in rainfall patterns, and the decentralized availability has led to a growing dependence on groundwater. Consequently, there has been a severe depletion of groundwater reserves. We know it very well. You might have already studied in environment. Okay. In 2025, 11% of units were assessed to be overexploited. Okay. In 3 states, Delhi, Haryana, and Punjab, we know this is where the problem of groundwater extraction is very peak, very high, okay, compared to the rest of the country. The stage of groundwater extraction crossed 100%. Why? You know very well, green revolution, the effort to provide irrigation, etc. Because of that reasons, severe digging of bore wells is there in these regions. Okay. This indicates that groundwater extraction in these blocks, taluks or mandal states was higher than the annual recharge. Okay. So we are extracting or in these states and UTs, extraction is more than the recharge or replenishment. Okay. Right. Another very important criteria, that is water use efficiency. Okay. The quantity or amount of water used and subsequent production with the use of that. Okay. That is water use efficiency. You see, as about 90% of water is used for irrigation in our country, and examination of water use in agriculture becomes very important. Of course, in agriculture, we are going to examine. Okay. Right. The water requirement to cultivate rice in India is 1000 to 1000 mm, as opposed to 50 to 600 millimeter in other Asian countries like China and Vietnam. Okay. Similarly, sugarcane requires 1800 to 2400 millimeter in India and 1059 to 1640 in Brazil. Okay. The Standing Committee on Water Resources, it noted several policies that caused over extraction and wastage of groundwater. What are those? Those include free electricity supply for agricultural use, assured government procurement of crops, especially wheat and rice, and fertilizer subsidies. These are the reasons noted out or found out by the standing committee. These policies incentivized the cultivation of water-intensive crops such as rice, paddy. Wheat doesn't require that much of water, but definitely rice requires a lot of water. And second one is sugarcane. For sugarcane, FRP is there, fair and remunerative price. Okay, right. Such as rice and sugarcane, even in water-stressed parts of the country. That is the problem. You know, this region, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan region, which falls in the western part of our country, the rainfall availability is very less, you know very well. But in these regions, the government of India at that time, for some reason, promoted uh, cultivation of water intensive crop, paddy. Okay. Then you come to Maharashtra. In Maharashtra and northern Karnataka also the problem is there. Here this region is also water scarce region or water stressed region. Rainfall is very scanty here also. Here sugarcane is grown like anything. Okay, that is the problem. Okay. Right. However, we will see stage of groundwater extraction in states as of 2025. Okay. So in these three western states, Rajasthan, Punjab and Haryana, more than 100%, 100% or above. Next states which are in orange color, actually none of them are there, 75 to 99%. Then 50 to 74%, the almost all the southern, central and northern states. Okay, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, okay, Uttarakhand, all these states are there. 25 to 49%, the eastern part of the country. Okay, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar. Okay, then less than 25%, Goa, and other eight northeastern states. Okay, very important, remember it. Then we will come to another pertinent problem, that is water pollution. I think you have definitely very elaborately might have studied in environment class, but still we will see. River pollution. The Central Pollution Control Board monitors and addresses the quality of river stretches across the country. We know it. River stretches are classified into different priorities, 1 to 5, okay, based on the BOD, biological oxygen demand. The required standard for BOD is more than 3 milligrams per liter. But if you see in 2022-23, 804 out of 2,116 river stretches, that is 38% of them, okay, were found to be polluted based on this criterion, okay, BOD criterion. Further, in 2019-21, 817 out of 1920 monitored river locations did not meet this criterion. Okay, right. We will see pollutants in river locations. Criterion based on primary water criteria. We see percentage of locations that did not meet the criteria. Dissolved oxygen, that is more than 5 milligrams of oxygen, 26% of them are polluted. pH it should be between 6.5 and 8.5. 17% of them are not meeting the criterion. BOD less than 3 milligram per liter dissolved biological oxygen demand, 39%. Then fecal coliform less than 2500 shall be there. 23% of the river stretches are not meeting that. Okay, this is the scenario. Very valuable information. You try and remember. Okay, next groundwater contamination. If you see, arsenic, fluoride, nitrates, uranium, manganese, and other heavy metals, they have been found in groundwater in our country. The Central Groundwater Board reported that in 2025, nitrate pollution was the most widespread, followed by fluoride and high salinity. Okay. While the report noted a decrease in the number of districts affected by pollutants like iron, arsenic, and uranium, no reasons for this decline were provided. Okay, maybe they have been declined naturally because of the improved rainfall frequency. Okay. Groundwater contamination largely results from natural geological processes and does not significantly change over the years. Okay. However, pollution caused by nitrates, phosphates, and other pollutants are due to human activity and human intervention. This is because of anthropogenic reasons. Okay. These can be caused by excessive use of fertilizers and domestic wastewater discharge. Okay. Right. You see, further industries, sewage disposal, and landfills also pollute groundwater. We know it very well. Over extraction of groundwater also causes increased salinity and electrical conductivity in aquifers and may increase the presence of contaminants like fluoride and uranium. You see, this is also the reason many news you might have read that in Punjab and nearby regions, the uranium presence is much more increased in the groundwater. The reason that can be attributed to is the over extraction of the groundwater. Okay. Then districts and states affected by presence of contaminants in groundwater. Number is there, you can go through that. Next, another important area is sewage treatment. Okay. All right. You see, as of 2021, 72,368 MLD, million liters per day uh, of sewage is generated by urban Indian households. Remember the name, 72,000 MLD. Okay. Existing sewerage treatment capacity can reach 44% of this generated sewage. The capacity is not even 50%. I'm talking about the capacity. Actual treatment, it will be much more lesser than that. Further, if you go on to read further, 15% of the treatment capacity is not operational. Okay. Untreated sewage is released into water bodies, causing contamination of groundwater. Several states have set targets for safe reuse of treated water. Okay. Gujarat has set a target of 100% reuse by 2030. So we will see whether this will happen or not. Okay. Then further, in states like in Karnataka, Gujarat, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, industrial zones within a certain range of a sewerage treatment plan must use treated water. Okay. Those are the rules there. Right. So this is about the sewerage treatment. Now we will come to another important program or scheme under the ministry, that is Namami Gange. Okay. Still much more is there in the document. We will see how much we can do. Okay. Right. So we will see about the Namami Gange program. See, the Namami Gange program aims to conserve and rejuvenate Ganga and its tributaries. Projects under the program include river surface cleaning, then creating sewage treatment infrastructure, then riverfront development, industrial effluent monitoring, and public awareness. Okay. It's implemented by National Mission for Clean Ganga. Okay. Budget allocation also you can see in the graph. Funds, just like before, funds remain unutilized. Okay, I'm not going into the details, but under the, just like earlier schemes, in Namami Gange also, funds are not being utilized appropriately. Okay. You can see in the table, funds distributed by the National Mission for Clean Ganga 2014 to 26 as percentage of revised estimates. Okay. So here you can see declining trend. Okay. Further, we will see projects under the Namami Gange program are implemented by various central and state departments, such as the Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation, state missions for Clean Ganga, and the state forest departments. Okay. Then for that, funds also have been distributed for that purpose. Okay. Next, we will see water pollution in Ganga. You see, as per the CPCB, all assessed locations along the river Ganga meet the notified bathing criteria respected to pH and dissolved oxygen. Okay, that is what CPCB is saying. Norms for biochemical oxygen demand have not been met in stretches in Uttar Pradesh and for fecal coliform in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal. Okay. Further, if you see between 2018 and 2025, the condition of polluted river stretches has improved in Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal. Okay. Good development, you can say. Further, marginal pollution remains in Bihar. The PSC, in its 2024 report, identified industrial effluents and sewage waste to be the main sources of pollution in Ganga. Okay, industrial waste and sewage. These are the two reasons for pollution in river Ganga. Okay. More than 2,700 industries situated on Ganga are grossly pollution industries. Very unfortunate. The PSC found that more than 450 of these industries did not comply with norms related to the discharge of effluents into the river. Very unfortunate. Okay. Then the sewerage treatment capacity, especially across the Ganga, is also not achieved. We will see that. The National Mission for Clean Ganga targets a sewage treatment capacity of 7,000 million liters per day (MLD) around the Ganga by December 2026. As of December 2025, 138 sewerage infrastructure projects have been completed with a total capacity of 3,800 MLD. So it is little bit more than 50%. Okay. So it accounts for 58% of the targeted capacity. Okay. Some constraints are there. What are the constraints? Identification of suitable land, obtaining statutory clearances, and abnormal floods have been cited as the reasons for delays in project completion. Okay. Right. Issues in project management in Namami Gange, we have to understand them, very important. You see, PSC, it has noted several issues related to management of projects implemented under Namami Gange. What are those? One by one, we will see. First one is low utilization of funds. Second one is delays in submission of utilization certificates by the states. Third one is delays in approving project reports. Fourth one, poor record maintenance. Okay, all these reasons are cited by PSC, Public Accounts Committee. Okay, the committee also further noted that while significant funds had been spent on public engagement was not achieved as desired. So you see, this is another problem. Most of the fund allocation nowadays is going towards advertisement. Okay, very unfortunate. Okay. The committee observed that the work done under the program was not proportionate to funds released by the NMCG. Okay, right. Next, some other important schemes are there. We will quickly go through them. First one is another one is Atal Bhujal Yojana. Very important scheme. It is to improve the groundwater in our country. Okay, it aims to improve groundwater management in 7 water-stressed states through community-led interventions. That is Atal Bhujal Yojana. Okay. It is being implemented for a 6-year period, 2020 to 26, with an outlay of 6,000 crore rupees. These funds have been allocated towards institutional strengthening, capacity building, and state incentives. Okay. This includes incentives for transparent planning and use of groundwater also. If we see the progress between 2020 and 2025, 67% of the total outlay, that is 4,044 crore, has been released to states under ABY. Out of the total outlay, okay, 60% has been utilized by the states. Okay, then across the states, expenditure has remained above 70% of the released funds. Okay. As of January 2026, targets have been met in most components except training and improving the rate of groundwater decline. Okay. So that is what is about the ABY. Further, we will see in 2023, Standing Committee has recommended that the scheme is expected to expanded to all water stressed areas of the country. In 2025, the Department of Water Resources indicated that, in principle, approval for was accorded for expansion of the scheme. Okay, that is what about the Atal Bhujal Yojana. Then Jal Shakti Abhiyan is also there. We will see that JSA, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, was launched in 2019, aiming to improve water availability in water-stressed districts of our country. Okay, it is implemented during the pre-monsoon and the monsoon season, July to November. It involves the creation of rainwater structures, enumeration and geotagging of water bodies, preparing scientific plans for water conservation and afforestation. These are the activities that are being done under Jal Shakti Abhiyan. Okay. Further, state governments are also expected or required to set up Jal Shakti Kendras in every district headquarter. Okay. You see, for this mission, no separate funding has been provided. It relies on converging funds from other schemes like MGNREGS, PM KSY, and Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. Okay, Amrut. As of July 2025, 1.8 crore water-related works have been taken up under this program. Okay, right. Next, we will come to very, very important and time-haunted and questionable, or now the country is divided whether to go forward with this or we should omit this. That about that, of course, it is an old initiative, but still now the debate is going on whether to continue with it or we have to disband it. That is river interlinking of rivers. Okay. Very important one. I'm always expecting a question in the mains exam about this one. Okay. Right. You can see the National Perspective Plan of 1980 identified 30 inter-basin water transfer projects in our country. Remember the name, the National Perspective Plan, 1980. Okay. Right. These projects, they aim to link water deficit river basins with water surplus basins. Okay, that is the objective. You see, 5 of these have been designated as a priority projects. Okay, as of December 2025, only one of these projects is under implementation. That is, I think you already know about that one. That is Ken Betwa Link Project, KBL. Okay. As of July 2025, rupees 11,380 crore has been spent on the project, of which 8,600 crore was spent by the central government. The tender for the Daudan Dam under KBL was awarded in November 2024. Okay, the river interlinking project has been allocated rupees 1906 crore in 26-27, 5% higher than the revised estimate of 25-26. Okay, in 2025-26, 75% of the budget allocation is estimated to have been utilized. This figure was 57% in 24-25 and 40% in 23-25. Okay. Right. Further, we will see river interlinking projects are expected to increase India's irrigation potential by 35 million hectare and generate an additional 34,000 megawatt of hydropower. Okay. Other incidental benefits include flood control, navigation, improved water supply, fisheries, etc. Okay. However, this is the problem I was mentioning about. Environmental impact assessments of these projects have raised certain concerns. For example, the assessment of Ken-Betwa link noted adverse impacts on local biodiversity, forest cover, land submergence, and changes in river characteristics. Okay, ecologically they are I would not say dangerous, but they might cause harm to ecological aspects in the region. That is the problem. Okay. However, mitigation measures such as afforestation, erosion control, pollution control, and habitat improvement have been recommended by the experts. Okay. Another challenge in interlinking projects is building state consensus. You know very well, many interstate river water disputes are there, especially in southern India. So this is the biggest challenge apart from land acquisition. Bringing the states into or onto the table and making them to agree for these projects is a challenge. Okay. States have raised concerns about the allocation of water following interstate projects. Okay. This could affect their capacity for irrigation and power generation. Okay. Further, water governance is there in our country. We will see that water governance in our country. Okay. Ah. In India, the responsibility of management of water resources is shared across the levels of government. You know very well. Local governments are responsible for providing water for domestic and commercial uses and maintaining community assets. Further, states are responsible for creating water storage structures, irrigation facilities, and managing water supply. Okay. The central government is responsible for the development of water as a national resource. Okay. It formulates policies for water management. Okay. Further, if you see, currently the National Water Policy 2012 is in effect. Okay. Remember, National Water Policy of 2012. Okay. You see, given growing challenges such as river pollution, groundwater depletion, and water scarcity, a committee was constituted to revise the policy in 2019. However, no new water policy has been adopted yet. Okay, let's hope that soon we will see a water uh, management policy or national water policy. Okay. The old policy itself, the 2012 policy identified several issues related to water governance. What are those? First one is fragmented implementation of water resource projects. Second one, treatment of groundwater as individual property, not as common property. Then third one is lack of trained personnel for scientific planning of water management. Okay. Further, it also observed that an interdisciplinary approach to solving water-related problems was missing. Okay. The policy established some basic principles for water governance in the country. It recommended that water be managed as a common pool community resource. All elements of water cycle, including surface water, groundwater, and precipitation, are interdependent. Okay, water management must be approached with an integrated perspective, with a river basin as the basic unit. Okay, so these are the valid recommendations or suggestions of the National Water Policy 2012. Okay, right. We will move forward. We will further know some things about National Water Mission. You see, the National Water Mission was established under the National Action Plan on Climate Change 2008. It aims to promote integrated water resource management across the states. Okay. It provides grants to states to formulate state-specific action plans for the water sector. Okay. Rupees 50 lakh is being provided to major states and rupees 30 lakh to minor states. Okay. If you see the data as of December 2025, uh, 3 states have finalized their plans. Okay. 16 states have submitted interim reports, and all other states have submitted draft reports. Okay. One of the expected outcomes of these you know state specific action plans is to formulate annual state water budgets. This involves calculating all water inputs and offering them against the water outputs. Okay, so this is a critical component of water resource planning and flood or drought mitigation. Okay, if you see in 2026-27, rupees 243 crore has been allocated in the budget towards research and development and implementation of the National Water Mission. Okay. Right. Then we will see some transboundary uh, river agreements. Okay, we know very well we have agreements with the neighboring countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, etc. And her neighbors have signed several treaties and agreements for mutually beneficial use of water resources. These treaties also provide for data sharing, establishing hydroelectric projects, and advance warming of floods. Okay, some of the agreements are listed below. You see this we have to understand in the context that recently Government of India has suspended the Indus Water Treaty that we had with Pakistan. Okay, so Pakistan we had Indus Water Treaty 1960. Now it has been put under abeyance. With Nepal we have several agreements. Kosi Agreement 1954 is there. Gandak Agreement 1959 is there, and Mahakali Treaty 1996 is also there. With Bangladesh we have Ganga Water Treaty 1996. Okay. You see some analysis we have to see. Several issues with these agreements have been observed recently. The Standing Committee on External Affairs, okay, 2025, noted that while India and Bangladesh share 54 transboundary rivers, agreements have been signed only for 3. Okay. Further discussions on Ganga Water Treaty set up to expire in 2026. Okay, and the talks are not being concluded. Not have The talks have not been concluded. About what happens after that? Okay. Then further memoranda of understanding signed with China on the Brahmaputra and the Sutlej have expired and are being negotiated. Okay. Further, due to geopolitical tensions between India and Pakistan, India suspended the Indus Water Treaty in May 2025. Okay. After the Pahalgam attack. Okay. The treaty has been held in abeyance since. Okay. Then disaster management is there. Because of the paucity of time, I am not discussing the disaster management in detail here. Okay. Maybe as part of your preparation, you will study this disaster management, or else if possible I'll make a short video about the disaster management and I will cover the things there. Okay, so I believe this is a comprehensive document about the water in our country. Okay, try to read it, try to remember. Okay, I would say if you read it, nothing else you need to read about the water and the related issues, except that happens very recently, means current affairs. Okay, you read this document and you follow the current affairs, then I'm saying with full confidence that you can answer any question with respect to water in the examination. Definitely with 100% surety I am saying this. Okay. Right. So we'll close this discussion here. Maybe in another session, I will take up another, document, maybe of rural development, and we will see the things that are there in it. Okay. Right. See you next time. Until then, you have a very good time.